that Shri Guru is absolute father, Shri Krishna is supreme father, but Shri Nanda Raj is father of the supreme father. But in the absolute sense, that means Nanda Baba, Shri Nanda Maharaj, Brajeshwar, he is father. But there's one more father who's not less than him, and that is Shri Vrishabhanu Baba, Vrishabhanu Raja, King of Varshana, Vrishabhanupur. That is the father of Srimati Radharani. I want to start, highest place. We're starting, Goloka Vrindavan is the highest place in the entire creation, and especially for dust. Glorious Mahima of Shri Radha is the highest subject matter, but we're starting from there today. How Srimati Radhika appeared in this world and made her father supremely fortunate and decorated her dynasty with all good fortune. Actually, we heard on Father's Day about Nanda Baba's festival, how he is Nanda ke Ananda Bhayo, Jai ke Naya Lag ki. How much Ananda, Nanda Raj has so much bliss in his heart, dancing just like a young schoolboy, even though he's already in his 60s, and hair is salt and pepper, says Radha Krishna Ganadash Dipika. He has nice belly already going, everything, but now dancing like a schoolboy, spinning and leaping and jumping into the Yamuna, and how full of joy, giving away everything in sight, everything he has. He gives away everything he has, and that uppercut, Amurta, Srimati Radhika, that Maha Lakshmi, who always accompanies Shri Krishna, yet she's not manifest, but she is existing always with Krishna. Therefore, because she's Mahalakshmi in Nanda Baba's house, he can give away everything he has, and there's more to give and more to give and more to give. But the most wonderful thing that he's giving actually is darshan of Shri Krishna, for those who are fortunate to see. This is the treasure for the eyes. This is the real wealth and treasure. It's the beauty of Bhagavan. Without this, actually we are poor, we are blind. Amritabdira surprise tavanu purisinjitaya ha kadama makalyani bhaderam apanishate tadalokana kalahi dam sare brahmatam janam tatpadabda milal laksha veshaja deva jiva. Das Goswami, Shilvaran Das Goswami is praying, if I cannot hear the sound of your ankle bells, if I cannot see the redness of your lotus feet, then I am deaf, I am blind. All this form, all this world is actually the symptom of my blindness. My so-called seeing is blindness. This material energy is covering my real soul's eyes. If I cannot see the smiling face of Bhagavan Shri Krishna, I am not seeing anything. All these things are passing, they are asat. So this is the real treasure that Nanda Baba is giving. He's given the world this beautiful son. Bhagavan Shri Krishna is the supreme manifestation of love and mercy and beauty. It's said that when Bhagavan Shri Ramchandra was born, he's born in solar dynasty at high noon. And the sun in the sky became so astonished looking at the beauty of the child, Shri Ram, that he froze in the sky. He doesn't want to move, just drinking the beauty of his descendant and Bhagavan. How beautiful is Ram, that for 30 days the sun was frozen in the sky. And everyone, all Ayodhyavasis, they were so intoxicated with the beauty of Shri Ram, they didn't notice that we've been standing here for 30 days. How many hundreds of hours? And then the moon came and said, hey, give me my turn, and pushed the sun out of the way, and then it was 30 days of night, just looking at the beauty of Shri Ramchandra. And Shri Krishna, Bhagavan Shri Ramchandra, essence of beauty, and yet his whole beauty has been borrowed from Shri Krishna. Some portion Shri Krishna has given. Swayam Bhagavan, Shri Krishna Chandra Nanda Lal, is the overflowing fountainhead of all rasa and beauty. He's the Paramananda Swarup. So he's very beautiful. And his darshan is the wealth of the eyes. And Shri Vrishabhanu Raj is the best friend of Nanda Raj. And he came there, and by good fortune he took into his heart that treasure that Nanda was distributing, the beauty of Shri Krishna. And he became agitated at heart. After the festival was over and he went home, bhakti means this: if you want peace, you're in the wrong sampradaya. If you want peace, then you should go in some Advaitavadi Sampradaya and meditate on Om Brahman Aham Brahmasmi, everything is one, and you can rest in light and dissolve yourself there and have like nice delta wave dreamless sleep for eternity. Because bhakti is not peace, bhakti is agitation. Bhakti means churning, means always fresh, always new, always, no? And there's so many dimensions to love and affection. It's not bland, homogeneous, pasteurized peace. It's full, all rich, all colors, the whole rainbow of transcendental emotions. And so Vrishabhanuraj, he was agitated by the beauty of Sri Krishna. So on the one hand, completely satisfied, as if this is the only thing I ever wanted in my life was to see this boy. But on the other hand, agitated. Now what can I give him? Agitated with the desire to contribute. If we really understand how beautiful is Gurudev, how beautiful is Krishna, then we will become agitated, how I can reciprocate, how I can match. Gurudev has given me so much. Krishna is giving so much. How I can match them, how I can reciprocate with them. So Vrishabhanuraj is thinking, what this boy actually is the gift. What gift I can give to this boy who is the ultimate gift. And like this, day and night, his mind was in between ultimate happiness, remembering Krishna in his heart, and so much distress. What can I give? What can I give? What will I do? Unsatisfied that he cannot contribute, participate. Service means to participate in the beauty of the beloved. You are beautiful, and if I make you smile, if I can make Gurudev smile, then his beauty is blossoming. I am now participating in the transcendental beauty of Gurudev by making him smile. This is prema, love. Don't want to take anything but your smile. I like you. I don't want something from you, I want you and I want more of you. When I make you happy, you blossom and I get more of what I want, which is you. So Vrishabhanu Baba, 2 weeks, his mind was turning, his heart was churning. And every morning he comes down, there's a beautiful lake at the bottom of his capital hill where his palace is. That is called Vrishabhanu Kund, Vrishabhanu Raja's personal bathing place. So he comes in the early morning and he does his sandhya, his gayatris and his different nitya karmas, his everyday prayers and things. So he comes before sunrise and he's taking bath in that kund. And he's Om Keshavaya Namaha and dipping in the water. Om Narayanaya Namaha and dipping in the water. Om Madhavaya Namaha and dipping in the water. And when he comes up, even though it's early, well before dawn, he feels, with your eyes closed, if you look at the light, you see pink as the light comes through your... So he felt some light on his face. And how the sun came up so fast, in one Om Narayanaya Namaha, Om Madhavaya, and then suddenly, this light began to fall on his face. And he thought, it's so early. And he opened his eyes and he saw from the center of the lake, as if the sun was rising right from the center of his lake, so much effulgent light. Not just like one sun, like hundreds and thousands of suns, so brilliant. But when he looked, instead of burning the eyes, if you look at one sun, it gives pain. But looking as if millions of suns were there, but coolly, refreshing his eyes, like his eyes are thirsty for that light. And he focused and he saw in the middle of the lake one big lotus flower. And the light is coming from this lotus flower. And he's wading out, his cloth trailing behind him as he goes through the water to where that lotus flower is. And he saw, oh, this radiance is not coming from a flower, it's coming from one beautiful, golden, soft, tiny baby girl. And she's laying inside this big lotus flower just like a boat. So soft petals. But when he went to touch her, to lift her, he saw, oh, she's thousands of times softer than lotus petals. She's so soft, like, when you boil milk and the milk foam rises. She was softer than the foam of boiling milk. So he's so careful to lift her. And he swaddled her in his cloth very carefully. And she's so lovely, completely golden. And her hands and feet on the bottom, so rosy pinkish. Reddish lips, curly black hair. And her eyes, they were closed, and her thick eyelashes were laying on her cheeks, and the eyes went almost all the way to her ears, so long, just like lotus petals. So beautiful. And very carefully he swaddled her in cloth and took her home. And he took her to the lap of his wife, Rani. And he lay in her lap and he said, she will be our daughter. We will call her Radha. So Sri Narad Rishi, he understood, my Lord, my Prabhu has appeared here on the earth. He's appeared in Braj Mandal, Vrindavan. And he cannot be without his Shakti. Surely his eternal consort she must be here somewhere. Where has she appeared? And Sri Narad Rishi was going, searching, as he does, freely, he can move, there's space. He was searching everywhere in Braj, asking, going door to door, begging some bhiksha, like a sadhu. Bhavati bhiksham dehi, bhavam bhiksham dehi. You can give some alms, but he doesn't want anything really. He doesn't need to eat, he has a transcendental body, he doesn't need money, he's completely rich with the wealth of love of God. There's nothing he really needs from anyone, he just wants to know, you have any baby girl? House to house he's going. He came finally to the palace of Sri Vrishabhanu Raja and Kirtida Rani, and he inquired, do you have any baby girl? Do you have any children? And Vrishabhanu Raj, he became anxious at heart, because actually this little girl is not his, and he's afraid, he's already so attached to her. You know, she is the embodiment, she is Bhagavan's Hladini Shakti. She is the joy in the heart of Shri Krishna. Shri Radha Krishna Pranaya Vikritir Hladini Shaktir Asmad. Who is she? She is the transformation of the pranaya, the deep love in the heart of Krishna that has transformed to become a person. Like the transformation of milk is ghee. You take the finest essence, you distill the essence of milk, that is ghee. If you distill the essence of Krishna's pranaya, Krishna's deep, deep transcendental love, that is Shri Radha, Mahabhava Swarupini Shri Radha Thakurani. Her body is made of the highest love and affection. So the whole house is fragrant with affection. The whole house is, everyone's heart is melting day and night, all the servants in the house, and everyone is so full of bliss to have this little baby girl who is herself Krishna Pranaya Vikriti or Hadini Shakti. And Vrishabhanu Raj is totally attached to her, but she's not his daughter, and so he's afraid. Maybe Narad Muni is looking for some lost girl to take back to the parents. So Naradji says, oh Raja, you have any children? And Maharaj Vrishabhanu says, yes, I have a son. His name is Sridham. And Naradji, he had already looked so many places, and he had a feeling from the beautiful fragrance coming from the house and the bliss on the face of Vrishabhanu Raja and the singing of the servants in the house. He had some sense. I had to press a little further. He said, but you don't have any daughter? Maybe some little girl? And Vrishabhanu Raja, he don't want to say. But he also knows you cannot lie to sadhu. You cannot do that. This is impossible. You know, a line you cannot cross to be dishonest with sadhus. So he finally, putting his own desires aside, his own attachment, he became honest. He said, yes, I have one tiny little newborn baby girl. And Naradji, he became ecstatic. Oh, I want to see her, I want to give her blessings. And then Vrishabhanu Raj came ecstatic. Oh, he doesn't want to take her, he wants to bless her. Come, come, come. He took Vrishabhanu Baba down the hallway to the room, the baby's room. Inside the room, so sweet atmosphere. I remember when Srila Guru Maharaj was in his last pastimes in this world. You know, he was in Govardhan in Kartik month. And we didn't see him, he didn't come out. He always staying in his room. And sometimes they would show a little video of him on the screen laying in bed. So it looks like, to this world, like he's sick. But this is Leela. He's a completely transcendental person. He cannot be sick. You know, he's just so deeply absorbed in his bhajan, so deeply absorbed in the love of Radha Krishna that he has no one to talk to about it. We mentioned this the other day. And so I remember I had good fortune. Some people were, some kind of initiation they were doing at that time. They touch the paper with the mantras to Gurudev's hand while he's in samadhi, and then they say, okay, now you're a disciple of Rani Maharaj. So there were hundreds of people coming from all over the world to take initiation at the last moment before Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj will remove the jewel of his darshan from this world. Everyone understand, this is the last chance. They're coming from every corner of the earth and from other planets probably also. And I have to help carry in the baskets of fruits. There's so many Russians. And I'm carrying down the hallway. This is like private, cannot enter inside. There's a guard at the door. Okay, you have some seva. They open the door and it's a long hallway down to where Gurudev's room is at the end. And just as soon as I enter in that hallway, I could feel like such a thick bliss. You know, the air was so thick. You start to feel like a little bit drunk, like your head is spinning. And I came and I laid down this. The closer I got to Gurudev's door, the more and more intense this feeling of like overwhelming bliss. And we laid down all these baskets in front of Gurudev's door, and I cannot go in, I cannot have good fortune to see Gurudev, but just standing outside the door, it was like whatever bhajan Gurudev was doing at that time when he's supposedly sick was so deep that it was like charging the atmosphere for hundreds of meters around him. And I came out, and I tell you, 10 minutes I had to sit down and catch my breath after being just near Gurudev's room. No? 10 minutes I had to sit down on the wall outside and just breathe. So as they're coming closer and closer down the hallway to the room where Srimati Radhika is, you can imagine, how that atmosphere is. How what a bliss, what a sweetness. And when they opened the door and Naraji entered inside in such a beautiful golden effulging from the swing, like a little swing they keep the baby in. And when Naraji saw her, he began to tremble because he understood immediately by her little hands and feet the signs. There are some divine signs, of Bhagavan and his Shakti. They have symbols on their hands and feet like lotus flower and thunderbolt. Radhika has crescent moons and vines and rings and things all on her little feet. So Naraji could see that and the tears start to fill his eyes. And he wants to worship her, but he cannot do it in front of her father because this will spoil the mood. He's thinking this is my baby girl. You don't want to show actually your baby girl is God actually. So he said, please, can you bring some paraphernalia, bring some turmeric, bring some haldi powder. Haribo.
Okay.
Can you bring some rice? Can you bring some haldi? Bring some flowers? And Vrishabhanuraj is so happy. Oh, my little daughter, now she's going to get blessing. And he ran out the room. And as soon as he ran out of the room, as soon as Narad was alone, he fell down like a stick at the feet of the supreme goddess. No, Krishna is called Sarveshwar Eshwar, the supreme controller of all controllers. Mahesh, Shiva controls the entire creation, the entire universe. But he himself is controlled by Sarveshwar Eshwar. But she, who by her love and affection has the power to control the supreme controller of all controllers, she is Sarveshwar Eshwar Eshwari. She is the supreme Godhead, really. If you think deeply, who can control the supreme controller? That is God. And so he fell, Naraji, he fell like a stick at her feet. And he began to pray. Munindra Brinda Bandite Triloka Shoka Harini Prasanna Bhaktra Pankaje Nikunja Bhuvilasini Brajendra Bhanu Nandini Brajendra Sunu Sangate Gadakarisha Sihamam Kripa Kataksha Bhajanam Makheshwari Kriyeshwari Swadeshwari Sureshwari Triveda Bharateshwari Brahmana Sasaneshwari Rameshwari Chameshwari Pramoda Kananeshwari Brajeshwari Brajadipe Shri Radhike Namostute Kadakarisha Sihamam Kripa Kataksha Bhajanam. O Supreme Goddess, when will you cast upon me your merciful sidelong glance? Notice me, see me. The eyes of Shri Guru, the eyes of Shri Gaur Sundar Mahaprabhu, Shri Nityananda Prabhu, lotus eyes of Shri Radha Madhav. This is like moonlight for the jivas. If they'll just glance on us, they don't have to do anything. Just look, just see me, just notice me. Their eyes are overflowing, pouring bhav and mercy. Like moonlight sprinkling on the garden makes the plants grow. Just see me one time, O Supreme Goddess, from the corner of your eye. You don't even have to look directly at me. Sidelong glance means I know your full attention is for Krishna. But just for 1 second, if you would acknowledge that I'm here begging for seva, then I know if you would glance on me that all my desires will be fulfilled. But Radhika is not opening her eyes for anyone. Her eyes are closed for many days. Vrishabhanu Baba had told Narad, yes, I'm so happy with my new baby girl, everything is perfect, she's perfectly healthy. Only one thing, she's blind. She won't open her eyes. So Naraji, he's praying like that. And suddenly, to give him mercy, she manifested, her Kishori Rupa, her form like eternal form, like 15 years old with Shri Bhagavan Shamsundar on her right side, and Ashtasakis all around, fanning and playing instruments, and he saw that eternal Radha Krishna. Beyond time and space, they are always like 14, 15 years old. And when they enter into time and space, they do this Naimitic Leela, where they take birth and they grow and they taste separation and go to different places. All these things are specialties of their Leela in this world. But at the same time, in Goloka Vrindavan, they are eternally youthful, side by side, Siddhidana. No, flower asan in the kunjas of Vrindavan. Always together. And she gave him that darshan and gave him blessing. And then when Vrishabhanu Raj came back, this vision disappeared. And Narji collected himself and he did his duty to give blessings. So after some days, in the same way that Nanda Raja had invited his friend, oh come see my newborn son. So Vrishabhanu Raj and Kirtida Devi, they invited their friends, Shinanda Yashoda, come to Varshana, see our baby girl. And so they came with their little Lala, with little Krishna, wrapped carefully. And when they came, well, they said, let's put the children together. They can rest together. And in this swing, Radhika was laying on one side, on her back, with her hands up and her eyes closed. And they laid down little Krishna next to her. And just the fragrance of his divine body, just the fragrance of her eternal beloved, start to touch her, start to waft across her nose. And her little nose, like it's described like a sesame flower. If you see sesame plants, a teal plant, how is a flower? It looks very graceful, like a little sweet nose. So Radhika's nose like a sesame flower. And like a sesame flower touched by the breeze, so her nose was moving. What is that fragrance? And she turned her face in the direction of Shri Krishna. And Shri Krishna turned his face toward her and he reached out with his little lotus bud hand and put on her heart. And as soon as she felt the touch of her beloved, her big blue eyes opened. And the first thing she saw in this world was Shri Krishna. Well, she's waiting. Until Krishna comes in front of me, I don't want to see anything. Actually, the beauty of my eyes, the full beauty of Shri Radhika is in her eyes. All her bhav, everything. Her whole body is Mahabhava Swarup. From head to toe, every long curly hair on her head, her ankle bells, her toenails, every part of her body is made of Mahabhav, the highest love for Krishna. But above all things, her eyes are overflowing. Just by the tiniest corner glance of her eyes, she can completely control Krishna. So she's saving this special beauty only for Krishna. And only when Krishna will come in front of her, now finally, she opens her eyes. That means that her glance, if she will glance on us, that is Krishna's prasad. Because Krishna is the first one to taste the beauty of her blue lotus petal eyes. So Vrishabhanu Raja is also father. We are speaking about Father's Day. But I don't want to speak about father today, I want to speak about baby. Srimati Radhika is Bhakti Devi. She is the supreme goddess of devotion. And she has so much desire in her heart to serve Shri Krishna, so much appetite, eagerness, that she is not satisfied with only one form. Therefore she expands herself into Ashtasakis, Shri Lalita Vishaka Tunga Vijaya Nulaika Champakalata Chitta Rangadevi Sudevi. She expands herself into Manjari, Shri Rupa Manjari, Ratimani, Labanga Manjari, Guru Manjari, Vilas Manjari, Shri Ramana Manjari. She expands herself. That is called Kaya Vyuha. Her own body expands. All of her different moods, unlimited thousands and millions of loving moods she has for Krishna, they become people. They take form with independent life. She expands into make thousands and millions of gopis, so that when Krishna does Ras Leela, actually he's only dancing with Radhika Rani and her thousands of manifestations. She's surrounding him on all sides, serving him with different voices, different styles of dancing, different ways of love and affection. She has unlimited capacity to love Shri Krishna, so she manifests millions of forms to express that. But still, she's not satisfied. After expanding in form of billions and billions of gopis in whole Vrindavan forest, especially at Radhakund, every flower, every creeper, every tree, every lotus in the pond, everything that is actually Radhika's Swarup. Radhakund is her own body. She's become a lake of bliss for Krishna to bathe in. And still she's not satisfied. So in the form of Bhakti Devi, she expands herself through Guru Parampara. She expands herself into the hearts of the jivas of this world. Actually, we try to understand one simple piece of science. There are three planes of life. There is the spiritual world, the Chit Jagat. There is the material world, Maya Jagat. And in the middle, this is Brahman, the Brahma Jyoti. Here in the material world, there is material variety. But that means also tension and duality. If there's birth, then there will be death. If there's wealth, then there will be poverty. If there's health now, then later you'll be sick. If you're young now, later you'll be old. There's always duality. And so those who become fed up, like the Buddhists, the Advaitavadis, they become fed up, exhausted with the duality of material life. They say, we just want oneness. We just want one, just blank. Give us relief from this changing duality. And so they enter into this undifferentiated Brahman effulgence. Aham Brahmasmi, I am spirit, you are spirit, everything is spirit. And they enter into pure oneness. This is a neutral plane. They go from a negative plane into a neutral plane. But they have no information and no entrance into the positive plane. That there is a world of transcendental variety, where there's not duality of tension, there's a duality of harmony. Instead of dark and light, there's Radha Krishna. There's meeting and separation, but everything is blissful. Everything increases Ananda. It's completely different and inconceivable for us who are in this Maya Jagat. So, Sri Radhika Rani, she wants to expand Krishna's seva. And she is the embodiment of Krishna's seva. So she, just in the same way that she becomes millions of gopis, in the same way that she becomes millions of Lakshmis, Lakshmi is one, but she has millions of forms, so she also becomes Bhakti Devi. And Bhakti Devi expands herself beyond even the spiritual world, beyond this neutral plane, and she enters into the material world. She enters through Guru Parampara. Guru Krishna Prasade Bhai, Bhakti Lata Bij. By the mercy of Sri Guru, Sri Guru is coming from that transcendental world, and he's coming with him in his heart, Bhakti Devi, and he gives her in a seed form into his disciple's heart. At that time, Srila Thakur Bhaktivinoda, in his Bhakti Tattva Vivek, his essays on what really is devotion and what devotion is not. What is devotion? What is false devotion? What is mixed devotion? He very clearly, scientifically explains, so we're not confused. What does really bhakti mean? And there he explains that it should be understood that as soon as Shraddha enters the heart, it means faith, we say in English. But Shraddha really means the Krishna Seva Vasana, the desire to please Krishna. As soon as we have some interest, I want to please Krishna. I want to offer flowers to him. I want to sing his name. I want to hear about him. I want to teach others about him. I want to love Krishna. Not I want to take liberation from Krishna, but I want to adore Krishna. As soon as this desire enters the heart, that is called Shraddha. In English, in Western religions, Shraddha means belief. I believe in God. But you don't do anything about it. You want God to feed you bread and butter, and you want God to fulfill all your desires and make you get good grades on your tests and make sure you always have a good job. You want to take from God. That is not really Shraddha. That is belief. But Shraddha means the positive, like the heart is sprouting with a desire. Something new is sprouting up. I want to love and serve Bhagavan Shri Krishna. That Shraddha, where does it come from? We don't have it inside of us naturally. We have the capacity for love. But it's not in us when we're born. It's given to us like a seed is planted in a field. It's given by Sri Guru. And that Shraddha is actually, in the vision of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, a little baby Bhakti Devi. That the supreme goddess of devotion has now come in your heart in the form of an infant baby girl. Shraddha Devi, if you have the inclination to serve Krishna by the mercy of Sadhu Guru Vaishnav, that means that Radharani's expansion Bhakti Devi has come in your heart as a little baby. That means that you are father, you are mother, you are responsible. Now you have this goddess who can control the supreme God when she's complete, but now she's very, very soft and delicate. She's very, very vulnerable. So like a householder, like a father or a mother will very carefully carry their newborn baby of only 2-3 days old, so tiny, so small. Very carefully make sure she's not cold, she's not hot, make sure mosquitoes don't bother her, make sure she likes toys. What does she like? Find out what she likes, what music she likes, sing for her, feed her what she likes when she starts to eat. In the same way, Shraddha is like that. If this thing, this transcendental sprout of love for Krishna will be nurtured properly, protected from things which are harmful for it, bad association, bad activities which are not for Krishna's happiness. Anukulyasya sankalpa pratikulyasya varjanam. This is a vow of the devotee. What is favorable for my relationship with Krishna, I must embrace that. And what is unfavorable, which will disturb my relationship with Krishna, I must reject it. I must. I cannot allow something which will damage my relationship with Krishna. So it's one step is to become vegetarian. Because we want mercy, so we also have to be merciful. Necessary to be vegetarian. If you love Krishna, you have to love all of his jivas. You cannot kill anyone. Not possible. To make relation with Krishna and not be vegetarian. But more than that, subtler than that, there are things like onions and garlic. No? These things are bad for this little baby girl. Okay, if you eat onions and garlic, this is not the same as killing an animal. You don't get the karma. It's not as merciless as killing an animal. But this energy is so heavy, so tamasic. It will cause disturbance in the mind, and your mind will not be able to rise peacefully to Krishna. You will not be able to absorb your attention in loving Krishna, in chanting Harinam with some soft heart, under the influence of these things. Onions, garlic, nicotine, caffeine. We have to discover what is good for this little baby girl. The Supreme Goddess has come. By great good fortune, she has given herself into my care. She can control God, but she's made herself completely vulnerable and dependent on me. This faith, this Shraddha, how will I develop it into prema? I have to protect her. I have to find out carefully from Shastra, from senior devotees, what is good for her, what will increase my faith, and what is bad for her. What she doesn't like, what may make her sick, bad association, hearing Advaitavad commentaries, impersonalism, many things. It's a very specific path to follow. So, if we'll take care of this little baby girl, Shraddha, she will grow into Nishtha. She will become strong and she can walk on her own. When she becomes Ruchi, that means transcendental taste, then she starts exploring for herself what she likes. She starts learning from the world herself. Ruchi Devi, now when we come to the stage of Ruchi, when we have taste, the taste of our Shri Krishna Sambandha Vijnanamrita Ruchi, when we can taste the nectar of realizing our specific relationship with Krishna. Oh, Krishna is my friend in Sakhiras. Or Krishna is my darling son, Gopal, in Vatsalya Ras. Or Krishna is my beloved in Madhurya Ras. When we really taste that thing, then that taste itself will start to teach us. The great saint Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur said, Ruchi Devi, the goddess of taste, she will catch the devotee's hands like a dancing teacher and she will teach him to dance. Ruchi will teach us how to do bhajan. We're reading and we're studying and up to a point. But when that little Shraddha, that baby girl grows up to the stage of flowering Ruchi, when we're tasting our personal relationship with Krishna and Shri Guru, that taste itself will be our full inspiration. And from there it will become asakti, like the flower is budding, and then bhav, it will fully open. No, our spiritual form will manifest. And Bhakti Devi will become Radha Rani, she will become our Swamini, she will become our eternal shelter. And so, someone who's so fortunate to receive that seed and to care for it all the way, Shraddha Devi into Nishta Devi, to Ruchi Devi, to Asakti Devi, Bhava Devi, Prema Devi, Shri Radha Devi. Such a person attains the highest possible good fortune and happiness. And they expand to the whole world the highest possible good fortune and happiness. If you want to do some contribution to society, to your family, to your country, to your species, to your planet, to your universe, if you want to make some contribution, the highest possible good for all jivas, you'll have to get prema bhakti. Like on this day we're celebrating, today is the disappearance day of Sri Syamananda Prabhu. Very important devotee in our parampara. We're going to hear a little bit about him, because he is that person whose Shraddha, he became fully mature. If Shraddha Devi will be, you cannot see her now, that the Supreme Goddess is like a little baby in your heart. You cannot see her. But if you'll develop the highest perfection, then you'll see her face to face. And we'll hear about that today, how Sri Syamananda Prabhu, he saw the Supreme Goddess face to face. No? We have to hear on the days of the great saints and acharyas, we have to speak about them, because their special mercy is available on these days. So Sri Syamananda Prabhu, his mercy is available in a special way today. So when he was born, his parents had lost so many children. No. And so when finally they got this son who lived, they were afraid out of some superstitious view. They thought maybe ghosts are taking our children, we're being haunted, babies are becoming sick and losing them. Therefore they give this child some like a horrible name, so that the ghosts won't be envious. Because ghosts who have no body, they're envious if someone has a little baby and everyone's loving the baby, and there's invisible beings floating around, and they are so much uncomfortable in their position, they become jealous and angry, and then they cause disturbance. So that not to make the ghost jealous, they gave the child an ugly name. They call him Dhuki Krishna. Dhuki Krishna Das. Means like miserable. Always unhappy. So he's miserable already, don't bother him. And so, he grew. Dhuki Krishna Das. And when he became a young man, he encountered his Gurudev. His Gurudev was an amazing, exalted associate of Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu, that is, Sri Hridaya Chaitanya. And himself, he was the disciple of Sri Gauridas Pandit. Gauridas Pandit was so near and dear to Gaurnitai. One time, Gaurnitai, they came to the house of Gauridas Pandit in Ambika Kalna, like we sing the song, Deva di Deva Gaura Chandra Gauridasa Mandire. Actually, Gauridas Prabhu, he wrote this song being full of bliss, watching Gaurnitai dancing in his own house. Look how Gaurnitai are in my house. So Gaurnitai came to his house and he completely controlled them with his love and affection. He cooked so many things for them and he made them take prasad. And finally, after they'd stayed many days in his house, they said, okay, Gauridas, now we have to go, we have to leave. And he said, what do you mean go? And he caught their hands. He said, you can't go. You have to stay with me. I can't live without you. He held their hands. He said, sit, I'll cook something for you. Don't leave me. Now Gauritai have millions and millions of associates, of places they have to go and do leelas and things, but Gauridas is saying, no, you're mine. You cannot leave me. How can I live without you? And like this, day after day, he was keeping them. And finally, they arranged, okay, look, we're not different from our deities. And they arranged, while they were here, they had these beautiful, beautiful Neem deities of themselves, life-size Gaurnitai deities were carved. And they were installed there in the house of Gauridas Pandit. And now they said, and Gauridas was very happy, I'm so happy I have deities of you in my house. This is wonderful, I worship them every day. And Gaurnitai, they said, okay, then we're going. And Gauridas said, wait, what do you mean you're going? You have to stay. And he said, no, we're staying in the form of deities. He said, no, the real you has to stay. You have to stay in my house. And they said, okay, fine. And they crawled up on the altar, Gaurnitai, and they stood like the deities, and the deities became soft and came down, and they started to leave. He said, and Gauridas came and he grabbed the hands of the deities. He said, where are you going? You have to stay here. He said, no, wait, we're going. We have to go. And like this, again, then the deities would get back on the altar, and the real Gaurnitai, they would give up their forms as deities, and they would start to leave, and Gauridas cut them. And day after day, he was holding them. Until finally, he couldn't understand who was the original Gaurnitai and who was the deities. Means, Thakurji is directly Radha Krishna. You have to have this faith. This is directly Radha Krishna. If Krishna can become the super soul in every atom, in every jiva, then surely he can become Thakurji, Vigraha. This is called Archa Avatar. He descends in the form of the Archa Vigraha, Thakurji. So finally Gaurnitai, they could go, and Gauridas Pandit, he worshipped his Gaurnitai, and he used to worship them. He used to think, I wonder what they like to wear. I wonder what their favorite decoration is. I want to please them. It says in 11th canto, Krishna explains about deity worship to Uddhav. In Uddhav Gita, he says, many services you can do for Thakurji, but their best one is bathing and dressing. Thakurji likes best of all, bathing and dressing. So considering the words of Shri Krishna and Bhagavatam, Shri Gauridas Pandit was thinking, I wonder how my Gaurnitai like to be dressed. I wonder, he was thinking very deeply, I wonder what would please them best. And when he opened the curtains that morning, he saw them in the form of Krishna Balaram, and they were covered head to toe with flowers. They were completely decorated like forest boys, like they are, cowherd boys that play in the forest of Vrindavan. They were so beautiful, and they had actually changed their form. Gauranga now was blackish, and he was holding a flute to his lips. Nityananda Prabhu was white like the moon, and he had a buffalo trumpet in his hand, and his hand on the shoulder of Shri Krishna. So beautiful darshan of Krishna Balaram, that Gauridas, he fell on the ground rolling in bliss. What is this? What am I seeing? What am I seeing? And they said to him, they said, Gauridas, you are so exalted, no one knows your glories. You are so exalted, you are such a high, wonderful, pure devotee, even you don't know your own glories. You don't remember who you are. You are Subal Chand. You are Subal Saka, our best friend from Krishna Lila. And then at that moment, Gauridas remembered himself from pastimes of Krishna Balaram and Vrindavan. So Gauridas Pandit became the guru of Hriday Chaitanya one time, and the kirtan was going so strong in the kirtan, loud kirtan, and someone came in a mood of chastising and looking for Gauranga Mahaprabhu and Gauranga Mahaprabhu to hide. Oh no, it was the deity had jumped down from the altar and was dancing in the kirtan. And when the pujari came, where's the deity? To hide, or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he jumped into the heart, the pure and soft heart of Chaitanya Das. And he became Hriday Chaitanya, because the Lord took shelter in his perfect heart. You imagine how high these personalities are. Gauridas Pandit, the deities are speaking to him every day. Directly they would sit down and eat prasad with their hands in front of him. They would play with him, joke with him, change their form, give him darshan. Every day hundreds of leelas like that. How high is Gauridas Pandit? And how high is his disciple Hriday Chaitanya, who the Lord will take shelter in his heart? And Duki Krishna Das, he became a disciple in that line. And he was worshipping this Gaur Nitai. This same Gaur Nitai who is directly Gaur Nitai. He was worshipping them. But desire came in his heart, some itch was in his heart. He wanted to go to Vrindavan. Vrindavan was pulling on him. His Gurudev and his Param Gurudev, they have the mood of cowherd boys in their soul. But Duki Krishna Das, he had another mood. And somehow he had some desire. I want to go to Vrindavan. Cannot understand that clearly yet at that stage, but he got permission from his gurus. And he went to Vrindavan, and there he met Shri Jiva Goswami Pad. We are, our pride of our sampradaya is that we are Rupanuga Vaishnavas. We want to be Rupanuga Vaishnavas. But Rupa Goswami gave Diksha, initiation, to only one person. That is Jiva Goswami. And Jiva Goswami gave initiation to how many people? 0. 0. So we are Rupanuga by Shiksha. We are in the line of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave initiation to how many people? 0. This is not, everyone has to take mantra, we have to take Diksha, but above all things you have to hear Bhagavatam from Rasik Vaishnav. This is actually how our parampara is flowing. Gurudev has given the seed, but how will it grow? We have to hear. So, Duki Krishnadas, he came and he established this relationship with Shri Jiva Goswami as Shiksha Guru, and he took everything in his heart from Shri Jiva Goswami. Jiva Goswami Pad, he also gave him some seva. You know Seva Kunj? We live in Seva Kunj. And just by our temple, there's a little place where there's a little monument which commemorates this Leela that I will tell you now. Duki Krishna Das, he was given this job. Oh, that time Vrindavan was like forest. And they said that every night Radha Krishna, they danced Ras Leela in Seva Kunj. And so for them, part of your bhajan, Duki Krishna, you're studying Bhagavatam, you do your bhajan, but you should also do some service to the holy Dham. And so he was sweeping. Jiva Goswami gave him the duty. You sweep these kunjas of Seva Kunj, where Radha Krishna do Ras Leela at night. And if you find anything, that time a very dense forest, very deep, not like now, it's like a town. If you find anything, you don't give it to anyone but the owner. Direct to the owner. This is my instruction to you. Jiva Goswami in his mercy gave this divine instruction. And Duki Krishna Das, one day, sweeping in the morning, absorbed in bhajan, absorbed in the moods that he was receiving from his Shiksha Guru. Jiva Goswami is Vilas Manjari, maidservant of Radhika. And Duki Krishna Das, he also has that mood sprouting in his heart. I want to be the maidservant of Sri Radha. And thinking about that service, what he's hearing from his Gurudev, from his Shiksha Guru, this mood is sprouting in his heart while he's absorbed. He's singing Radhe, 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 Jai, 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 Shri Radhe. And sweeping. And he heard a tinkling when he was brushing. And he opened his eyes and he saw, a beautiful nupur. We say ankle bell, but English is not proper because ankle bell means like one bell. Nupur means the whole thing that goes around the ankle, the whole ornament. And he picked it up and he could understand. By looking at it, this is not an ordinary nupur. First of all, how in the middle of the jungle came this nupur? Second of all, so celestial, little tiny, tiny gems. It's made of the tiniest little jewels that tinkle when they touch each other. And by touching it, he felt so much bliss that he was shaking and his hair stood up on his body. His eyes filled with tears. He felt his heart pounding to touch this thing. He understood this is not ordinary. Nupur. And he came to his Gurudev, Srila Jiva Goswami, and he said, look what I found this morning. And Sri Jiva Goswami saw that, and controlling himself so he doesn't faint in front of his disciple, he said, very good. Now you keep it carefully, and you only give it directly to the owner. And he tied it in a cloth, and he was carrying that thing. And so after some time, 2 little village girls came. beautiful, beautiful young girls, they came, and they came right to Duki Krishna as he was sweeping and doing his service and doing his bhajan in the forest, and they said, "Oh Baba, we were looking for something. Our Sakhi, our friend, she lost something here. Did you happen to find something? Did you happen in your sweeping so much seva you're doing for Vrindavan? Maybe you found something our Sakhi lost?" He said, "I found something indeed." She said, "Oh, then you please give to us. Our Sakhi is very sad. She's looking for her ornament." He said, "Yes, I can give you, but only one thing is my Gurudev gave me order not to give to anyone except the owner. So I'm sorry, I cannot give to anyone directly except the owner herself. That's my Gurudev's order, I cannot cross my Gurudev's order." He said, "What? Oh, you're so proud, you think you want to see. Our Sakhi is so chaste, she's so shy, she'll not see the face of any man, and you want directly to give her yourself." But he was adamant, "I'm sorry, I don't mean to do aparad, I don't want to disturb you, but my Gurudev has said." Guru Mukha Padmavakya Chitite Koreyaka Arna Koryo Manayasha. Make the words coming from the lotus mouth of Gurudev one with your heart and have no other desire but this. You know what is anartha? Artha means something desirable. Anartha means undesirable. Every desire we have besides what Gurudev has said to us, that is called anartha. That is obstacle in our spiritual life. What Gurudev has told us, that is artha. That is the one pure true thing we should desire. Make the words of Gurudev one with your heart and desire nothing else. Then your life will be peaceful. Delete all disturbance and obstacle in one click. So finally they understood, oh, so much Guru Nishtha, we cannot disturb him, we cannot defeat him, and they blindfolded him. "Okay, we'll take you to our Sakhi, but we cannot show you where that place is." And they put a blindfold on him, and they led him deep into the forest, deep into the kunjas. And when he finally came, he could smell a wonderful, wonderful fragrance and hear the tinkling of so many ornaments, so many Sakhis were there. They said, "Bow down." He bowed down with his blindfold on his knees. When he got up, they pulled this cloth, and when the knot fell loose and this cloth fell from his eyes, he was seated at the lotus feet of the goddess of Vrindavan herself, Vrindavaneshwari Sri Radha Thakurani. So overwhelmed with bliss. Just like Chakora bird drinking the rays of the moon, he was drinking her beauty, the beauty of her soft, moon-like face. Radhika's embodiment of love for Krishna. And wonderful thing is, the more that you love Krishna, the more that you have devotion for Krishna, the more that you have compassion for Krishna's jivas. It's automatic. The more that you love Krishna, that you must have compassion for his jivas, for others. It's unavoidable. So she who has the most love for Krishna is the overflowing, Karunamayi Radhe Radhe. She is Parama Karunamoyi, supremely merciful. There's no one can be merciful like her. Why Gauranga Mahaprabhu is famous for being so merciful? Because he has the heart of Radha in his heart. That's why. So Shri Radhika, glancing with so much mercy and compassion on little Duki Krishna Das, trembling at her feet in bliss, seeing now the Swamini, the goddess he has worshipped in his heart for so many days in the forest of Vrindavan, now he's seated at her feet. By mercy of Jiva Goswami, his Gurudev, by mercy of his Gurudev, he could sit at the lotus feet of Bhakti Devi herself and see her. He cultivated that Shraddha Devi, that little baby faith, all the way up. When she's fully mature, she will give you darshan. That is Shri Radha darshan. He got that darshan. And she was very happy with him. And she took that ankle bell and she pressed on his forehead. You know, when you hold Nupur, it hangs like this. It makes like a long loop. And she pressed it on his forehead. "Oh, I'm very pleased with you." And she pressed here and it fell down halfway down his nose and across the bridge of his nose and up. And it made a mark there. She said she gave him this new style of tilak. All the disciples in the line of Syamananda Prabhu, they have this mark. She said, "Because you give happiness to me, therefore I will call you Syamananda." Because Radhika is Shama, whose mind is completely absorbed in Sham, that is called Shama. So Syamananda. "Oh, Syamananda Prabhu, I'm very pleased with you." And she made this mark on him, and she extended her soft lotus foot to him, and with his own hands trembling, he was able to replace this Nupur on her ankle, full of happiness. And finally, she was so pleased with him, it said, she gave him a deity of Krishna. Shamsundar, manifested from her own heart. They say that on the temple there in Shamsundar Mandir, it says that This is the only deity known in the whole creation to have manifested directly from the heart of Sri Radha. This is my Krishna. I'm so happy with you. I want to give you my favorite thing. And that is Shyam Sundar Krishna. And she gave him deity. You know? He became very famous later in his life. They became Shahi. You know him as Syamananda. He became one of the first book distributors. The three Shiksha God brothers. They all had different Diksha Gurus, but all the same Shiksha Guru. Shri Srinivasacharya, Shri Narottam Thakur, whose songs we sing every day, and Shri Syamananda Prabhu. They together took a cartload of all the Goswami's books, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Bhakti Rasamrita, Sindhu, Upadeshamrita, Manashikshas, Stavavali, Stavamala, all the masterpieces, Brihad Bhagavatamrita, the Goswamis living in Vrindavan, writing, but now these things should be copied and distributed to the world. The first book distributors ever. It was Shri Narottam, Srinivasa and Syamananda Prabhu. It's a wonderful history, but actually they passed through Bengal and there was one king who was a little bit making himself rich by crime. And he had an excellent astrologer, and the astrologer told him, "Oh, I see, entering into your kingdom just now, someone is carrying a bullock cart full of jewels. Jewels and gems and treasure like nowhere in this world. Like Swarga doesn't have these kind of jewels." And so in the night, while the three God brothers were sleeping in the forest, they were attacked, not beaten, but they were scared and their books were stolen in the night. And so Srinivas, everyone was crying, but Srinivas, he told his two friends, "Don't worry, you go to your own places and you keep preaching. I will find these books." And he did, he found the books. And Syamananda Prabhu went back to his place in Orissa, his home place, and he began to preach. And he became Acharya. Syamananda Prabhu became so prominent, he became a threat to those, he was making so many thousands and thousands of disciples that the rulers at that time became jealous. There was one ruler who sent actually a mad elephant. There was a mad elephant that was crushing villages and killing so many people. And the place where Syamananda Prabhu was doing his bhajan, they brought that mad elephant there. And they whipped it and it charged him to kill him. And it ran to him. And as it was running to him, he said, "Haribol!" And it stopped suddenly. And the elephant became frozen. And he said, "Come here." And the elephant leaned down and he grabbed the big ear of the elephant and he spoke into it, mantra. He gave Gopal mantra into the ear of that elephant. He said, "Now your name is Gopal. You're a Vaishnav. No more killing anyone." And Gopal, he said, "Now you bring more. You preach for me." And Gopal came back with many, many elephants. They came with tons of elephants and they all came and took initiation from Syamananda Prabhu. Such exalted, unlimited person. You only hear like Gauranga Mahaprabhu going to the forest of Jharkhand like that. And he's, giving prema to the animals. I won't speak too much about him, just one last thing I'll say. One time there was one yogi who heard, "This Syamananda is becoming very famous. Everyone was following me before for my mystic powers. I could do anything, I could read minds, I could do all kinds of magic. And now everyone is losing their taste for magic, for superficial religion. They're losing their taste for sensationalism, and they're gaining taste for prema bhakti. They're gaining taste for bhakti, for giving, for devotion, for adoring Krishna. This is not good. I will lose all my fame. I will lose all my donations." So he challenged Syamananda, "We should make debate. I will come and meet you tomorrow, and I will defeat you in debate and prove in front of everyone, all these villagers, that actually I am the proper spiritual teacher and guru for all these people, and you are some useless Vaishnav." And so just to show his prowess, that yogi, that mystic, he used mantra, he controlled a tiger. And he climbed up on the back of a tiger like he would ride a horse. And he came into the village riding a tiger. And everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, he's so amazing, he's so exalted." They couldn't believe, who can be so powerful to ride on the back of a tiger? And as he came close to Syamananda Prabhu was sitting in a very humble way. Just sitting like we used to go in Govardhan with Guru Maharaj on morning walk. And then we walk on this road towards Radhakund and back. Gurudev chant one round this way, then answer some questions, and chant one round this way and answer some questions. And finally, after going back and forth a few times, there's one very broken down stone wall. And Gurudev used to sit. This was his asana. The most exalted acharya on the planet Earth, and he's satisfied to sit on a dusty broken wall because it's Braj. And to his eyes, this is Chintamani. There's no better asana than to sit anywhere in Braj. And Gurudev used to sit on this simple wall. So Guru Maharaj had like 2 lakhs disciples, 200,000 followers all over the world. He had everything, but so always humble, always simple. Always ordinary in his heart, never proud. So Syamananda Prabhu, sitting on some wall, chanting his bhajan, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. He opened his eyes and he saw this yogi coming down the road, riding on a tiger, coming closer and closer, and all the citizens following behind. And Syamananda Prabhu, he became merciful. Oh, these people, they're so much overwhelmed by sensationalism. And this yogi, so much overwhelmed by pride and his mystic power. He thinks that by doing all this yoga, he's got the most exalted mystic powers. I'll have to show them all that actually bhakti contains all mystic powers, everything. And so what did he also wanted to ride on a mount to that, to meet the yogi coming down the road. And so what did he do? Just by his Hare Krishna, the wall, the entire brick wall itself got up and started to move. Just sliding along the ground. He didn't even have to get down and walk. The wall just slid down the road on a piece of broken wall. He just rode down the road, and that yogi became astonished. I can control a sentient being with mantra, but this person is so powerful he can make non-moving dead matter serve him. And he got down from his tiger and he bowed his head to the ground, and everyone could understand this debate is finished before it started. Vaishnava has all power. They don't show that. They're not making sensationalism. Like someone said to Prabhupada, why don't you do some miracle? Prabhupada said, these are my miracles. These people are giving up their bad habits, giving up eating meat and all the madness of their hippie life. They're giving up everything and becoming Vaishnavas, becoming clean, becoming dedicated, becoming sincere, becoming educated, dedicating their whole energy to love of Shri Guru and Bhagavan. This is the real miracle. No? If I did other miracles, then people would have come to me for that and not for my teachings. But Vaishnava can do miracles. I've seen with my own eyes 2 times Guru Maharaj stop the rain in Hawaii. 2 times in Guru Maharaj Vyasa Puja Festival in different years, 2004 and maybe 2005. Outside we used to do in a big park, in the Hilo side of the big island of Hawaii. And sometimes heavy, heavy rain. It's like rainforest. One side of the island is really dry, but the other side is like rainforest. And it's a big, big bundle, but when it starts coming down on the roof of that thing, it's just like, I don't know if it was tin or what, but it's so deafening loud. Even with the speakers, you can't hear it, one word. And Guru Maharaj wants to give Harikatha to us. And Guru Maharaj, I saw, he just looked up like that and put his hand like this, and the rain just stopped. And Guru Maharaj said in front of everyone, he said, I will hold the rain for 3 hours. And then he finished his katha, and there was some drama, and there was some kirtan, and the Sarprasad, and Gurudev went to his car, and as soon as he got in his car and they shut the door, the rain started coming down. I saw with my own eyes Guru Maharaj stop the rain twice. Vaishnava can do, but they're not making magic show. Why he's doing? Only because he wants to speak Harikatha. Not to attract by magic show, he wants to impress into the hearts of the devotees the desire for Shuddha Bhakti. And that comes by sound vibration. That comes by hearing Bhagavatam from the pure devotee. So Guru Maharaj used to tell us, the greatest expression of love and affection in the world is the giving and receiving of Harikatha. You want to love someone? You want to serve Bhagavan? No. Hear and repeat. Give your life for this emphasis. Anyway, many things we can describe, but I just want to give some little indication, carrying over from Father's Day. We're also fathers now. We have this little baby inside. If we have, we have to take care very carefully. This bhakti can be lost after billions and billions of lifetimes. Fortunate jiva has the chance to awaken, to receive something from the spiritual world, a seed from the spiritual world. The desire to love Krishna. By that desire, you will enter into the spiritual world and attain eternal life and drink the beauty of Sri Radha and Madhav every day for eternity. But that treasure can be lost if we don't take care. So always avoid bad association. Don't eat bad things. Don't take intoxication. These kind of things. Don't tell lies. Always be honest. This line is very honest. We have to be very honest. Our character will have to be very, very good. Simple. Integrity. But especially we have to always hold on to the lotus feet of Vaishnavas, to Gurudev and Shiksha Gurudev. This is most important thing. Then this little infant Bhakti Devi, she will grow up and develop, and finally, like Syamananda Prabhu, who we are celebrating today, we will see her face to face. Now we cannot imagine. But if you take care, this Shraddha, this little faith you have now, that will grow up into the point where she will manifest herself. You will see the Supreme Goddess of love and affection, Sri Radha Thakurani, face to face. Now Syamananda Prabhu, this is his disappearance day, so we're speaking his glories on this day. And we get his mercy by remembering him. What is the mercy of Syamananda Prabhu? That we hear and speak about him. We hear his life, we get hope, we understand how this path works. Diksha Guru and Shiksha Guru. Vrindavan, this type of things. Okay, so thank you for your patience. Thank you for coming in here tonight. Hare Krishna. Gaur Premanande. So Shri Syamananda Prabhu ki
Jai.
Shri Rupanuga Gauriya Guru Varga ki
Jai.
Shri Guru Maharaj ki
Jai.
Bhakta Vatsal Shri Krishna Chandra ki
Jai.
Shri Urjeshwari Raseshwari Vrindavaneshwari Sarveshwareshwareshwari Shrimati Radhika Rani ki
Jai.
Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari